Okay, so we're going to talk about the anatomy of the 30-inch Halligan bar. This is a pro bar style Halligan. From end to end, it's 30 inches. We've got the adze, the pick, or you might hear this referred to as the pike or the spike. This is the shaft. These are the forks. You'll see that these are beveled. The bevel is referring to the convex side of the forks. And looking at the forks, we call this the crotch of the forks. You'll also notice that on these bars, you have indicator markers to give you an idea of how far you need to wrap around the door frame. So let's talk about the different mechanical advantage of the Halligan bar and comparing mechanical advantage versus spread. So if we look at this adze, the width of this is about 2 inches. So if I wrap this in, going across the adze, I'm using 30 inches of bar or 30 inches of effort arm against 2 inches of resistance arm. So 30 divided by 2 gives me 15-to-1 mechanical advantage going across. You'll notice that on a right-hand swinging door, to get the full throw, we need to go up across the adze, whereas on the left-hand swinging door, we go down across the adze. That's to keep the pike from getting in the way. So right here, going across, gives me 15-to-1. You will, however, notice that if we go across the adze, we get 15-to-1, but we only get 2 inches of spread. So we need to think about, do we need more force, more mechanical advantage, or do we need more spread? Right here, this is enough to clear most of the door, but not quite enough to get it all the way forward. Another option that we have using the adze is to go in line with the adze. The length of the adze is 6 inches. So again, we take that mechanical advantage formula of 30-inch effort arm and 6-inch resistance arm. 30 divided by 6 is 5-to-1 mechanical advantage. But the benefit of that is that we get 6 inches of spread. So here, the door is not all the way forced. I need more spread. I can wrap that adze in. I'm going to get more spread, but less force. Okay. Another configuration that we can use is called the adze pick triangle. So using this, we're going to wrap both the corner of the adze and the end of the pick around the door frame. And the way we determine our mechanical advantage there is that if you draw a flat line across these and then measure the height of the triangle, that gives us about 5 inches. So using our formula again, 30-inch effort arm versus 5-inch resistance arm, 30 divided by 5 is 6-to-1 mechanical advantage. So if we need a little bit more force than just the adze, we can wrap the adze and the pick around the door frame, like so. And that's going to give us 6-to-1 mechanical advantage, but only 5 inches of spread. Let's talk about the forks. So again, to review, the bevel refers to the convex side of the forks. So there's two options. We can go bevel towards the door or bevel towards the jamb. We're going to decide that based on a few things. One, whether we're doing 1-person or 2-person forcible entry. Another is how tight the door is against the door frame. The reason for that is that if we go bevel towards the jamb, like so, it's going to be easier to steer the end of those forks, the tip of those forks, around without biting into the door jamb. However, once we get through, we're going to run out of throw because our adze contacts the door. If we go bevel to the door, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to steer because these naturally want to bite into the door jamb. So we'll have to be more diligent about steering. but once we're through, we're going to get a little more mechanical advantage on the outside of that curve, and we have more spread because we don't run into that door with the adze. When we look at these, for mechanical advantage, this is going to be a little bit different depending on how far you seat the forks into the door frame. A general rule of thumb is going to be 12.5 to 1 mechanical advantage, because from the crotch of the forks to the fulcrum on the outside of the door is generally going to be about 5 inches, right? Length of the crotch of the forks is 5 inches. So if we seat this all the way, then we decrease our effort arm by 5 inches, makes our effort arm a 25-inch bar, and then we have a 2-inch resistance arm. So 25 divided by 2 gives us 12.5 to 1. That is going to be a little bit different if we use these indicators. Get this out of the way. That'll give us a 3-inch reduction in our effort arm. So that would be 27 inches. And if we take that 27-inch bar divided by 2 for that fulcrum, or the effort, correction, for the resistance arm rather, 27 divided by 2 would give us 13.5 to 1. So this is going to be fluid. It's going to change a little bit depending on whether we're bevel to the door, bevel to the jamb, how far we seat these forks in. But I always like to just assume that I'm going to get the minimal amount of effort. So I'll count on at least 12.5 to 1 mechanical advantage with these forks. However, if you look at the bevel, that's only going to give us about 1 inch of spread, right? So we get quite a bit of mechanical advantage, but only that 1 inch of spread. Might not be enough to completely clear that door.